Okay, thank you. We're going to stick with character for a second, but visible and demographic traits are one thing, but it's often the unseen characteristics that really move the story. What does motivation look like? What's inside the character? What moves an injured worker? What motivates you? Carlos Luna has a view on this subject in his presentation, Passion Moves. Carlos is the Vice President of Marketing and Business Development at Risico. He is raising awareness of Risico's total managed care services and lifting its overall media profile in the industry by defining a new communication strategy. For more than a decade, Carlos has been a trusted advisor to stakeholders in healthcare, claims, utilization review, managed care, insurance, and government agencies. A recognized thought leader on national workers' compensation issues, Carlos's blogs have been published by industry-leading publications such as Comp Central or Comp Wire, Insurance Business Magazine, Louisiana Comp Laude, and many more. He was named a new leader in workers' compensation by Comp Wire in 2017 and was featured as LegalNetInc.com's Thursday Thought Leader in 2018. Here now is Carlos Luna. We bring you, Carlos Luna.
I was making you wait. Are you guys having a good time here at Comp Central at the Comp Laude Awards in Gala? Anybody? You know, I got to tell you, it's tough following Marcus Torbert. I'll just put that out there. Guy's charismatic, he's good looking, he can do like 1,000 push-ups. But you know what really gets me pumped up? This is where you say, what? You know what really gets me pumped up? Is when I see presenters talk about something that they're truly passionate about. I don't know about you, but I'm moved personally when a presenter transcends being just a good orator and moves their audience at their very core. I personally have often asked myself, how are they able to do this, right? We know some great orators that are very popular, right? Some great speakers, charismatic people. How do they do this? I've come to the determination that it's passion. It's having a deeply rooted connection in what they do. It's actually caring about what you do. You see, passion moves. It moves people. In order to become an individual that is proficient in the art of influencing change, if you aspire to be someone who actually can help change the way things are done, help improve the way things are done, you and we must pursue a deeper connection with that which we do. It's that deep connection that then is going to give birth to passion, right? It's finding the thing that you care about that's really going to bring it out from within you. And we could tell, right? You can't fake it. You can't fake passion. I mean, when Marcus gets up here, you'll see when the other presenters get up here, when Bill Zachary gets up here to talk to you, you know that these guys actually, really, truly care about what they're talking about. They have found that deep connection. This connection, it's going to breed that passion without you having to try. This passion is going to be authentic. It's going to be enthusiastic. You know, I've never been criticized for not caring. I have been criticized, Greg, many times. That's okay. You might be criticizing me right now. for caring too much or being too enthusiastic, and that's totally fine. Because the fact of the matter is, when you find that deeply rooted connection with what you do, you can't help but be passionate. You can't help but care about what you do. You know, this connection that I'm referring to begins with the realization, listen carefully, lean in for a second. It begins with the realization that day jobs never, ever drove innovation. Day jobs, if you go to work, you know, from 8 to 5, to collect a paycheck, to pay the bills, that mindset is never, ever going to interrupt any processes. But it's when you find that connection, it's when you develop this passion that you truly, truly aspire and you feel the need. And there's times where you can't put the laptop away or you can't put the subject that you're thinking about on the back burner because you just care too much. It's that enthusiasm, it's that passion that's going to help you advocate for the things that you believe. You know, the world of work comp, and we all work in this industry that's very real. This world of ours has a tendency sometimes to stamp out the little emotion that we wake up with in the morning. And it leaves only, at times, someone who is only trying to get from point A to point B, get from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a burger in between. And it's tough. I had a gentleman that I deeply respect, and he's in the room here today. Is it you? Is it you? Maybe. But this person, the very first time that I met him, he says, "Carlos, you remind me a lot about me when I first started working in workers' comp." I took that to mean that just give it a few years. Just give it a little bit of time before your enthusiasm dies down a little bit. This industry of ours has a tendency to sometimes put us through the grinder, spit us out, and we become cynical, we become pessimistic, and we care a little bit less about the thing that we cared about so much in the beginning. Passion is the one thing that you can't lose sight of. This passion, when you start to drift away from the center, when you start to drift away from the thing that you love about what you do, passion is going to be your lifeline. It's going to be the thing that allows you to come back to the center and recenter yourself so that you can come back to a position of influence, of good influence. You know, this industry, it's, and I want to say this carefully because you might throw tomatoes at me, but this influence is saturated with influencers, right? This industry is saturated with individuals that we call influencers. And sometimes this saturation of individuals that we, hold in high regard for good reason, it sometimes makes for a very noisy and sometimes very competitive landscape. And dare I say, sometimes this competition dissuades individuals who can play a legitimate role in the improvement of an ecosystem, i.e. workers' comp, that is constantly under a public microscope. But because there are so many people clamoring and fighting for their 5 minutes in the spotlight, sometimes individuals who legitimately care but don't have that influence have a hard time getting a platform that they can use to then instigate and influence positive change. I have to tell you, and I'm going off script here for just a second, Greg. You wrote, whoa, hold on, time out. That wasn't in the script. Those of you that have flown into DIA, and some of you that I met with this morning, you know the story. Those of you that have flown out of DIA, when you come into the airport, you come in at the second level, and then to get down to security, you have to take escalators. I was walking, as I usually do, with my cell phone in hand, just as I was, reading my emails, pulling my luggage behind me, absorbed by what was going on in my inbox, that I came within 2 to 3 feet, of a man who was unconscious on the floor. Kneeling next to this man was his wife, crying hysterically. And a group of paramedics performing CPR on this man. First of all, I was disgusted in myself. I literally almost tripped over someone who was laying unconscious on the floor because I was so sucked in by what was going on in my inbox. Folks, in our day-to-day work, we influence the quality of life for the individuals that are represented by these claims that we work. And sometimes it's the passion that's going to help you open your eyes when you need to recenter, when you need to come back to see what truly matters. Friends, I've been accused of many things. And hopefully, after today, I'll be accused of being very passionate. That I would take as a compliment. But this industry, it needs more people that care legitimately. It needs to make room for more individuals, more millennials, more people, more young individuals to come up and invite them to be able to share their passions, to become passionate about what they do, and allow them ultimately to influence change in how we do things. So here's my question to you. In this noisy, ruckus industry, how will your symphony be heard? Passion moves. Thanks, everyone.